Alright, in this tutorial series we will be creating these 4 beautiful mugs on Blender. Alright, now in the previous video we saw modeling. In this stage we will see how to texture. Part 2, Texture. Alright, now the next step is texturing, that is adding the material on our mug. Alright, to see that, if I go to the viewport shading option, you can see how this mug is beautifully painted, right? Isn't it? Yeah. So we're going to do the same here. So what we need to do first is we need to divide the screen. So bring your mouse to the bottom right and then just drag. Okay, I did a mistake. So if any error like this happens, need not worry. Go to the top, click on 3D viewport, right? Now do the same again. Now you can split the screen, see? Alright. Now this screen, we are going to change it into shade editor. Alright. So once we have the shade editor screen available, click on the object. Now if you click on this particular mug, you can see a bunch of stuff going on here. Make sure you are in the viewport shading option so that you can clearly see what's happening on screen. Now, there are a bunch of stuff going on for this particular mug, and we are going to do the same with this one. So select the mug or the object, and just if you want to rename, you can double click and rename it as mug 1. Alright. Now click on new. By default, you will get these two options. Now go to edit, go to preferences, click on add-ons, and then just search for node wrangler and turn it on. If it's not on, just turn it on and save the preferences, close this one. The next thing that we need for this mug is a color ramp. So click on add, search for color ramp, bring it to here. That's done. Next thing we need is a Voronoi texture. So say add, search Voronoi texture and bring it here. Now since we have turned on the node wrangler, select Voronoi texture, Ctrl T to bring the mappings. Cool. Now from distance, connect it to fac or factorial, I guess, and from color to bring it down to base color. And you can see the changes happening already. Alright. Now change linear to constant, and let's bring down the white to this point. Change to 4D and let's say smooth F1. Euclidean to, let's say, Minkowski. It's up to you. You can play around and find the right one that suits you. So I'm gonna, the scale's not working. Okay, wait. Let's say this is -1. Okay, so connect the object to the vector. It was from generated to vector, so we just connected from object to vector. Now let's just play around with the values. So here are the values for this mug. It was -1, 1, 1.71. So we're going to do the same here. -1, 1, 1.7, and 1. So you can see the changes taking place. All right. So if you could just play with the exponent, you can change the extent of the liquid or the black dot effect. So it's totally up to you. You can increase the scale and find the one that rightly suits you. Alright, so I like this particular effect. Now it's totally up to you. You can play around and find the right one. Alright, so that's done. Now what you could do is you can increase the subdivisions of, you can increase the roughness of a ear. So the more the roughness, the less light is easily reflected. So it kind of gives the plastic effect. Alright, so it's up to you. So we are done with mug 1. Alright, now we are in the viewport shading, and this one is the viewport shading. Wait, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Okay, this is the material preview, and this is the solid view. See, I'm just a beginner. Alright, now I'm going to create a duplicate of this one. So Shift D, and then you can just drag it to the new place. So I have a duplicate over here. Now I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to bring it to the center, G, X. All right. So we're done with mug 1. I'm just going to drag it to the bottom here. So I'm going to close mug1 for the time being. Sorry, I mean the comparison model that we used. The next one we are going to try is lava. All right. Now, as you can see, this particular one has this hand grabbing or the wrapper at the bottom. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to select this one, Shift D. All right. And so I have a duplicate over here. Now let's go to tilde, top view, G, and I'm just going to drag it to the here. And I'm just going to scale it out. All right. I scale it out, as you can see. Now I'm going to scale it along the Z-axis, S, Z. All right. You can see it's taking shape. Click on S, and I'm just going to drag it here like this. G, Z to move it to the bottom. All right. It's still too big. So S and G, Z. All right. So it's looking pretty good. Now if I can just reduce S, scale it along vertically, and G, Z, bring it down. All right, so it's taking shape. Now we have this shape going over here. If you want, you can scale it down a bit. Make sure the bottom is also perfectly aligned. So G, Z. All right, so that's done. Now, if I go to material preview, this one has these black and white materials that we just assigned. So just go to the material properties and then just subtract. All right, select the other one, subtract. Cool. Now we are going to compare it with the lava material. So let me select this one first. Now, this is just a basic black base color. So select the base, click on new, principal BSDF. If I see the hex value over here, it's totally black. All right. So let's just select black on this one. You can just type 0000 and that's it. Now, if you notice, this one has less reflection compared to this one. That's because I have given increased the roughness to 0.695. So I'm going to do the same here, 0.695. So it kind of gives the feeling of it's like a matte effect. Now to the lava section. Just like we did the black and white camo, we are going to do the same with this one. So for the lava effect, we have a color ramp, we have a noise texture, all right, and we have a mixed shader and an emission operation. All right, so we're going to do one by one. Select this one and we are going to click on new under the material properties. Now we are going to add a mix shader, bring it to the center along here. All right. Next thing we need is a color ramp, and then just keep it over here. The next thing we need is a noise texture, and we need an emission. Bring it over here. All right. Now let's just choose the colors. So here the color is just white and everything's pretty much the same, the roughness and everything. Here the color, and for the emission, so we are connecting emission to the shader and principal BSDF to the shader and shader to surface. So from emission, we need to connect to the shader, second shader, and we need to change the color of the emission. So here, if we choose the hex value, it is, if we choose the hex value over here, it is FF2A00. Just copy that one, and then come here. Select here, go to hex, paste the value. All right, so that's done. The next thing to be done is, let's go to the color ramp. From color, connect to FAC. From color, connect to FAC. And we need to connect the noise texture, the color to FAC. Color to FAC. All right, let's just wait and then see what's happening. All right, so now we need to move this along the center. Oh yeah, the base color over here is 2727. So copy that one, come over here, change the base color to 2727. Now you can see what's happening over here. I want to change the position to 0.477. It's 3D, the roughness is 0.5, 3 to 0.5. So let's change the scale to 3, 2, and 0.5. So now to get this sort of increased emission, select the object, which is the top one, and just increase the emission strength to, let's say, 57. Right, and you can see it's taking shape. Yeah, so that's how we create the lava mug. All right, so you can change the roughness and you can change the detail. Oh my god, that's just pure awesome. All right, I'm just gonna bring it down. Yeah, that's better. And maybe work with the distortion. All right, so yeah, you can play with the scale and you can do all those things. Yeah, so that's pretty much how you do this one. All right, so we're done with the second mug, and that's the lava mug. Now for this one, we have two tops. So let's just rename it as lava 01 and rename this one as lava 02. All right, now we are going to keep these two in a separate collection. So click on here, it creates a new collection, and let's name it as mug 2. All right, and we are going to select these two, click on shift key and select both, and then drag it into mug 2. Now I'm going to turn off lava, the comparison one, drag it down to the bottom, and I'm just going to turn this one off. So we have a black and white mug done, and we also have the other one done. So if I just move this one, G and X, so we have two mugs at the moment. All right, now we need to do the third one. So I'm just gonna take a duplicate of this one this time. So let's turn off mug 1 and make a duplicate of mug 2. So shift D and then just drag it to the right side. All right, and then let's just turn off mug 2 for the time being. Oh wait, both the duplicates are in here, so just drag it outside. Yeah, drag it just outside and close mug 2. The next one we have to do is let's say tan. Tan's pretty simple. All right, it's not a big deal. Front view, G, just gonna keep it here. Yeah, so just remove this material from here, just subtract it, and then let's see what's the color over here. You don't even have to go to the shade editor for this one. Just choose the base color. It's basically the same, you know, the shade editor and doing the things over here. So go to the base color and let's see what's the hex value. Copy the hex value and let's just paste it over here. Yeah, so that's pretty much does the work. And the top one, its the hex value is E7. Let's see let's give a new material and name it as hex value E7. Yeah, by default it's E7. And everything else is looking pretty much the same. There's no much bigger difference. So that's mug 3. All right, yeah. So let's make a new collection and let's name it as mug 3, and let's make a duplicate of these two. All right, shift D and then just drag it to the. All right, now let's just put this one in a collection. So select these two, and by default they get selected over here. Drag it into mug 3. Now let's close mug 3 for the time being, and the comparison one too. Now the last one is dots, and that's this one. So G, and I'm going to drag it over here, move this one to here. All right, so what we're going to do next is we need to create this one, right? So we have this mug with us, and let's just bring the shade editor up here. All right, now let's see the properties for this one. So it has a color ramp, a Voronoi texture, and then a mapping and texture coordinate. So let me subtract all the given materials from here. Subtract and subtract. So the base one for this one is pretty simple. I mean, it's just the same white background. We haven't done much changes for this one. So let it be in this way. For the top one, we are going to do the same. Click here, click on new. By default, it creates these two shaders, and let's go to add, search for color ramp, bring it to here, add Voronoi texture, bring it to here, and there's a mapping done. So select Voronoi texture, Control T to create the mapping. So here, vector is connected to vector, object is connected to vector, distance to fact, color to base color. All right. So connect color to base color, distance to fact, vector to vector, object to vector. Done. Now we are going to change this scaling. All right. So increase the color to here, and you can make it constant if you want. So change the linear to constant, and then you can play along with the, you can play along. Now the reason why we have this white inside is because this particular object is protruding inside. All right, we can just scale it out to make sure it doesn't interfere with the inside. All right, so yeah. Now what do we have next? So 3D F1 Euclidean, you can play around with this one. So we're done with 4 mugs. I'm just going to close this one, turn off the camera. The camera sign symbol shows that these things will be rendered. All right, so I'm just going to join these two windows. Right click over here and join areas, bring it down. All right, cool. So we have 4 mugs ready. All right, we have the lava. Okay, it's not actually lava, it's dots. So let's rename it as dots, and dots 2. Create a new collection called mug 4 and move these two inside. All right. Yeah. All right. So let me just turn on everything. G x-axis, G x-axis. So what happened over here is that we forgot to subtract the material, so it stayed the same. Let's just, okay, so everything had the same issue. You couldn't just increase the size of the outside one and then make sure it doesn't cause an issue. All right, so the material over here is pure black, so we are going to do that over here. X value as 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, so what happens is that both the materials are assigned to the same one. So let's just copy this value, X value, and subtract the default assigned material from here and create a new one. Go to the base color and copy the X value over there. Yeah, so that should solve it. Now to change this one, let's just change to black 0 0 0 0 0 0 in hex value, and that's done. You can increase the roughness if you want. All right, so that's done. All right, in the next stage, we will see lighting and renders.